What is going on, YouTube and my fellow Doge Army holders out there? Let's talk what the Dogecoin development team is saying, what it is like working with Elon Musk for the past few years. Now, before we go any further, if this is your first time tuning in, please consider subscribing to my channel, smashing that like button, and come follow me on Twitter. I need 5,000 people to follow me before I initiate the giveaway of this Dogecoin 0.999 silver. This is real. It's not fake. Okay. I have a bunch of silver these one coins. One of my distributors sent me a bunch of them that I got on eBay. So come follow me. I need to hit 5,000 before I start finding people. I'm gonna be giving 2 of them away. So I hope to see you guys there. So let's see. The Dogecoin developer Ross says Elon Musk has been advising the small team working on the cryptocurrency since 2000, or has been advising the small team working on the cryptocurrency. Dogecoin developer Ross says Elon Musk has been advising the small team working on the cryptocurrency since 2019. Musk has offered to fund the developers and is eager to see Dogecoin become the world's dominant cryptocurrency. Nicole and the other Doge developers are currently laying the groundwork for the newest, biggest update since 2019. Yes, it was almost midnight in London on a quiet Thursday last week. Software engineer and part-time Doge developer Ross was getting into his pajamas, ready for bed, when his message feed suddenly blazed into life. Elon Musk, arguably the most influential man on Twitter, certainly on crypto Twitter, had tweeted about Nickel and the other 3 other core developers responsible for the Dogecoin blockchain, working with Doge DEVS to improve system transaction efficiency. The Tesla and SpaceX chief said, potentially promising. Okay, now this is the first time we have heard anything from the development team in correlation with working with Musk. Okay, everything else is speculation, rumors, but this is actually from the development team. Okay, now before we go any further, please remember I'm not a financial advisor. You should always consult with one before you buy or sell any asset. This should be considered entertainment use only, or hell, don't be lazy. Look at some charts, read some articles, listen to some random guy or chick on YouTube. Okay, so I was stunned that Nickel told them on the following day. He didn't tell us he was going to do that. So they've been working with him for a while, and they weren't expecting for Elon to come out and throw him on blast like that. As Nicole related, the events that have felt like an episode of the surreal sci-fi series Black Mirror since Musk came into his life 2 years ago. His excitement was pliable. What emerged was the outline of a legitimate plan in which Musk, impatient to make Dogecoin the world's most used cryptocurrency, is readily apparent. Oh man, Musk and Doge, a marriage of wow. To the outside world, until last week, Musk was Bitcoin's anointed cheerleader. The one who could take the world's first cryptocurrency truly mainstream after Tesla's 1.5 billion Bitcoin buy earlier this year. Sure, Hellraiser Musk loved to tweet about Dogecoin, but that was just for laughs, right? At least that's what Bitcoiners and many in the industry told themselves. Even Musk himself said that his Dogecoin tweets are just meant to be jokes, which we know that when Musk is joking, it is meant to be taken serious. Okay, we laughed at the man when he said he was gonna make rockets that were gonna land himself. We laughed at him when he said he was gonna make all electric vehicle company, and he did it. Okay, so yeah, anytime that guy comes up with some off the wall stuff, you better believe him and go with him. But in an Alice in Wonderland style turn of events that only Musk could orchestrate over the course of a few days last week, the erstwhile Bitcoin champion and techno of Tesla performed a surprise U-turn. He announced that while Tesla would continue to hold Bitcoin, it would no longer accept it as payment due to environmental concerns. And he was on the hunt for a greener alternative. The move contributed to Bitcoin tumbling 30% in the past week. We are blindsided by him announcing he was dropping Bitcoin, said Nicole, but I sort of wonder what's that going to be, you might ask. Okay. Oh yeah, it's all risky, man. I love that guy. Elon is choosing Dogecoin because Dogecoin is better than Bitcoin in many fundamental ways. Dogecoin has faster transaction speed, lower fees, and less environmental impact to the BTC. Yes, Doge is affordable for regular folks because of its high supply. Ideally, Doge speeds up blockchain 10 times, increasing block size 10 times, and drops fees 100 times. Then it wins hands down. Yes. Up until now, Musk's hands-on involvement with Dogecoin, the cryptocurrency that began life as a repository to Bitcoin, had been a secret. Even while his tweets had sent Dogecoin soaring 10,000% in the start of 2021, Musk first tweeted about the project in 2019 when he was offered and accepted the role of honorary Dogecoin CEO, baby, aimed much wow from the community that had mostly lavished after the token's funders abandoned it in 2015. Since then, 5 developers, one of them who had sadly died of cancer in April, have worked on the open source project in their spare time. Before Musk's tweet, few crypto people were aware that the Tesla chief used the honorary CEO episode to DM developers on their private Twitter channel, volunteered to fund them, and offer the polity declined. An offer they politely declined, and has since sparked up a relationship that now threatens to upend the crypto industry. Tesla and SpaceX have not responded to decrypt response from comments from Musk. Musk messages every now and then, Nicole said. Whenever he does, it sends the developers into a flurry of activity. I bet, man. You know, if I get a message from Elon, I'm going to get fucking excited. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. I'm going to be jacked. Let's get it. Many have asked how Musk could possibly see potential in a cryptocurrency that started as a joke, runs on the most basic borrowed code, and has had virtually no recent development on GitHub. Critics point to the barren GitHub page and question whether any real Doge developers exist at all. Nichols' response is that he sees no sense in development effort just for the sake of spending development efforts, especially when Dogecoin upgrades can take up to 18 months for the network to adopt. Why would we do a more frequent upgrade? That seems crazy, he said. Nichols said the crypto industry, after 10 years spent in ascended me as a research fellow focused on applicants development. Until recently, he led technical developments on smart contracts for the enterprise blockchain project R3, working closely with commercial banks. He also had a brief stint working on the breakthrough NFT project Crypto Kittens. His approach reflects his background in commercial blockchain development, where releasing a new upgrade every 3 months, as some blockchain projects do, would be excessive. We're not trying to absorb massive amounts of money, making developers millions or billionaires, he said. We're not trying to innovate technology that 3,000 other blockchains have already reinvented. Why would you do that? Dogecoin is modeled on Bitcoin, but like Litecoin, it uses a different code, which is less energy intensive and more in line with Musk's new eco-friendly stance on cryptocurrency. The network currently does have performance issues with network synchronization, said Nickel, and that will be remedied with an upcoming upgrade designed to act as a foundation for many of the sweeping changes to come, some of which have been encouraged by Musk. Yes, man. So Musk is like really, Musk is putting a lot into Dogecoin. Like, I remember PayPal, right? I mean, yeah. Buying a coffee with Dogecoin, because it said, who comes across as shiny and down to earth, was coy about revealing too much of the conversation he'd enjoyed with Musk, but open about Musk's main aim to make Dogecoin cheap and easy enough to use to buy a cup of coffee, man. Elon obviously has a background in payment process, cynical, and we're taking advice from him on what that would look like. Musk has offered the developers lots of advice on how they can take Doge from a joke to a truly utility based on his knowledge as PayPal founder. Boom. I can honestly say he's improved the higher transaction throughput, Nicole said. Indeed, Musk's enthusiasm for the project means that the developers often need to hold him in check. He runs off on the end goal, Nicole said. He is back at the coffee shop and we're going great. But we need to make a path from A to Z. It's not the next step, so we're a long way from actually announcing plans on that right now. The developers and Musk have also discussed ways of reducing DOGECOIN's carbon footprint, which they are still evaluating. There's lots of modeling to be done before major decisions are made. While Musk's plans are exciting to the developers, they also said they need to sort out more immediate issues with the network first, but the team is optimistic that with Musk in the picture, they could further reduce the cryptocurrency's energy consumption, which by one estimates on Thursday is already just 7% of Bitcoin, man. What? Yes. Now remember, before we go any further, if you find this useful, entertaining, or in any way, please consider subscribing to my channel, smashing that like button, and come follow me on Twitter so you can win some Dogecoin real silver. As the Dogecoin market heats up, they said interest in developing the coin has gone through the roof. We're seeing an avalanche of developers jumping in and working on it, he said. With droll amusement, he noted that other developers have been calling themselves cores, such as an outfit in New York, which had recently sprung up. But that's exciting. I would love to see more development teams jumping into this space and doing things. Those working on Dogecoin up to now have largely been part-timers. I was coding Dogecoin from my dining table, cynical. I'd love to see more projects out there where that makes sense for them to be working as a part-time job or a full-time job in this space, but that's not me. Dogecoin doesn't need a senior technical lead anyway. I would say we need a lot of people on the ground doing coding. We need someone who's more of a CTO, and I'm none of these. And crucially, he can command a better salary outside the blockchain space, though he declined to say where. He also questioned how projects can claim to be fully decentralized if they rely on a handful of core contributors. We want to have 100 or 200 or 1,000 minor contributors over 3 or 4 major computers. That's decentralized, he said. They look at us like we're insane. But that makes sense to me. I mean, it actually does make perfect sense if you think about it. With that aim in mind, Nicole has said streaming his coding live on Twitch to train the next generation of Dogecoin developers. We would love to see developers work on projects like long-awaited Doge Ethereum Bridge and decentralized finance, DEFI projects to bring smart contracts to Doge. That's what we need, man. We need smart contracts. Once we get smart contracts in there, I mean, we're pretty much good to go. There's nothing going to stop Doge. And there are plenty of funds in the kitty. Thanks to Doge's healthy price, the core team is currently establishing framework and guidance on how that will be used, given its size. But having turned down money from Musk and other wealthy would-be investors, they won't name exactly who they decline money from, okay? They don't see the value in further fundraising until they have a concrete plan, man. That's about how the money will be used. This is what you need right here. This is perfect. Like, if I was looking at a company to invest in, this is what I want to see right here. Like, they don't want to take people's money and burn it, basically. Like, they have good core fundamentals set up. They have a game plan. It's not just the joke. These guys aren't like, we're going to see where it's going to go. I'm going to fire from the hip. It's cool. No, these guys there's some snipers right here, man. They are strategically putting that one bullet where it needs to go. In the month before he starts his new job, he's laying the ground for the cryptocurrency's 1.21 upgrade, the biggest since 2018, and a fundamental for all changes to come. The upgrade is based on Bitcoin and credited the Bitcoin Core 0.21 developers for the work. We really tried to be as close we certainly can to Bitcoin so that it's super easy to adopt, he said. After the upgrade, the team's next goal is to cut transaction fees from their current average of 4 cents to 1 cent. It's going, from 0.4 cents to 0.01 cent. It's going to be a bit of negotiation with the miners, but we have to convince them that it's healthy for the network, said said the developers. From an end user perspective, main highlights are when we're looking at how to make sync speed better. He explained the upgrade will also ensure that wallet backups are valid forever and will make it easier for service providers to integrate DOGECOIN. Last week, crypto exchange Coinbase announced it will finally list DOGECOIN after much prevalence. This 6 to 8 week timeline shared by exchange suggests that the new upgrade could be ready by listing. So they're kind of like, this is all gonna fall into place on the same time or before Coinbase lists his DOGECOIN. Coinbase move is likely in response to mass demand since Musk took Doge under his wing. Search for DOGECOIN have revealed those for Bitcoin, providing a firm foundation of widespread adoption, and the effort that Musk's tsunami has had on the industry shows no signs of abandonment. Did you hear that, baby? We're not going nowhere. Nobody. We're not being abandoned. This is our puppy right here, baby. We're gonna throw this one into a killer. In DOGECOIN space, everyone thinks they have to reinvent the wheel. They have to compete. He said, I'd love to work with many blockchain organizations as possible. Let's be a rising tide that lifts all boats, baby. What? That's great, man. I like to read some stuff like this. I hope you guys found this useful, entertaining. Don't forget to like my video. And come follow me on Twitter, baby, so you can win some silver, unless you guys don't want nothing free. I mean, it's fine with me.